Sorry for nipping off so quickly in that end of that last match, but we do have this match ready to rumble. As in the top right side, the Red Protoss player is Creator. And in the bottom left, our Blue Terran player, Team Liquid's Clem. So this is something which sometimes happens when we use this format, which is one side of the matches go a little bit more quickly than the other side of the matches. And in this case, that's how it happened today. And hence, we are actually able to get an extra live match. Usually, this would be our last series of the day. We'd cast it from replays, a couple of hours from now. Now, in this case, it actually was ready to play live. We asked them to hold on like 2 or 3 minutes, basically, while the while a previous series ended. And yeah, here we are, Clem against Creator, best of 3, and it's going to be live. So, like I say, an extra live series for you guys, compared to just one from replays later. So that's why this is going to be a little bit out of order as well in comparison to the other games, or the rest of the schedule, etc., guys. So yeah, that's what's going on, just to explain. And yeah, Creator Clem should be a pretty fun matchup. Definitely looking forward to it. And Clem. We're going to proxy a factory as well. Okay, Clem's going to get a little bit wild. I'd love to see some Magfield Accelerator openings against Protoss. Yeah, I guess it's kind of funny, though, because I guess Magfield obviously was so good against Stalkers before, and then we never really saw it. Nowadays, it's good against everything, but not as good against Stalkers, which are kind of one of the better counters to Cyclones anyways, because of their ability to have some range and to get in reach of those Cyclones in general. Yeah, kind of an interesting one to discuss, as we do see our reactor coming online, the factory coming up, and seeing where we're going to go with this little proxy play. It is going to be a reactor on that barracks to work with. Legams de Jules, thank you so much for the 4-month resub on the Prime as this game gets settled. Again, in case you just joined us, this is on the new patch. It's not PTR, it is balanced test mods, so bug fixes have been made, and there's a couple of additional updates. Nothing too major, though, just little bits and pieces, so I'll mention anything that's obviously notable. As you wonder kind of initially what Clem is going to get up to here. I mean, obviously just getting some Hellions out in the middle of the map, and then looks like he's going to build mines from the middle of the map too, just a complete fake out on his opponent. I mean, obviously Creator, I feel like the last thing he's expecting perhaps is maybe a Hellion drop. Actually go quick armory as well. All of this off of one base is Clem, so it's important he does serious damage. If he doesn't find some serious damage with this, he's going to be in quite a bit of trouble, because this is a lot of investment that he's putting in right now. Yeah, he's putting a ton of investment in at the moment to basically get something done, so if he doesn't do anything, yeah, we really are in a world of trouble. The 2 adepts will come forward, they'll be met by a wall-off, and the starport will be in that wall-off. They will see the medevac flying out, though, so you see that, and now these adepts like, huh, are we in the wrong place? 3 mines get lifted. Looks like we'll wait for number 4. The 2 Hellions will get moving. And these adepts are still just not really doing anything useful anywhere. So, wow, Creator's even going to build a Void Ray. He does have a Phoenix. As we are going to get hit by that Phoenix pretty quickly. So this medevac starts to take damage. The initial Hellions will hit an Adept. Adept going to shade, and we actually dodge away from that Adept shade, so the Hellions preserve some HP. They'll start to kind of zone the front. Obviously, one of the things here is getting these Widow Mines split up a little bit. No! Was that the splash damage of the mine that killed the medevac before the Phoenix got it? I have to check that back on the, Oh, I didn't quite catch it on my stream. I think the mine splashed the medevac, no? Clem was trying to boost into the main base and just get the mine over there, and so that mine just splashed it. Because the Phoenix was still 2 or 3 shots away. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate. I was going to say, it's important to get these mines split so you can make it more difficult to hit the Revelations. There's 3 probes so far, not quite what Clem was hoping for, as he's only just now building his CC on the high ground as well. He does get in for, well, 3 more probes as the Void Ray helps to get rid of this next medevac. We're actually going to blow up, or, well, I say blow up, we're going to attack that Void Ray with the Widow Mine. He decided to do that. 5 probes down on top of the 3 earliest. That's 8 workers now. A Hellion's going to come back into the natural, and hey, there's nothing to really defend here. I guess there is a battery, though, as the mines will split up. The Oracle is here, so Revelation's available. Again, important to just try and have these Widow Mines, basically spread out so that every single one of them needs its own Revelation to be dealt with. And there's another medevac coming in, so again, just making this difficult. Obviously, here you kind of want to hope you can lift these mines before they get burrowed, so you don't really need the Revelation. That would help you a lot, as that's going to be a dead Phoenix, no? Okay, the first Widow Mine shot into the assimilator, so obviously that did not become a dead Phoenix. And that Revelation does catch double mine, but all of this time the natural is not mining at all. So Creator is having quite an issue against this. This is becoming pretty problematic, I think it's fair to say. You know, Mr. Harada, thank you so much. 15-month resub, welcome back. Oh, cheeky Revelation again going down, hitting both those mines again. It's kind of what you need here as Creator. We actually have a counterattack. Okay, Widowmine does get burrowed up. We'll get a first shot off on an Adept. Do we actually have any other units? No bunker from Clem. So defensively, he's absolutely knackered, one could say. He's going to put some damage on this Void Ray. These SCVs need to join this battle. The Void Ray is going to go down. Can the SCVs be enough against, I mean, Stalkers without upgrades, the Zealot as well? I mean, actually might be enough here for Clem, who brings everything he can back. 5 SCVs lost. I mean, it is going to put him down on workers, but I mean, the fact he was ahead on workers was already great for Clem, so this is almost necessary damage being done by Creator. Widowmine on the other side hits a Stalker as well. Obviously, that factory is still out on the map. It's finally going to start turning around. We have a reinforcing pylon here. 2 new Stalkers being warped in, but remember, they are slow warp-ins as well. We lose a medevac, and looks like Clem will just pull back defensively, realizing warp-ins are still coming. He's going to try and now build a bunker finally, so... all this time, that natural not mining from Creator. Again, so much lost mining time in this game because of those mines. Clem has had an income lead over the last 2 or 3 minutes because of the mines causing so much disruption to the mining here so far. Still pulling back. Liberator, Marauder, Marine still on the way. Stimpak coming through. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Stalkers pulling back to the upper right-hand side. We also do have our robo facility setting up on the natural expansion as well, just getting that going. Marines will go onto this pylon. This pylon will take some damage, will get knocked down on the bottom. Predator gets supply blocked. I'm just going to be seeing these medevacs loading up. And it's going to start boosting through the south side, so down the south they go. I mean, let's see what we can do here as Creator. It's no stim yet, right? If stim was done, I'd be terrified for Creator. Creator's going to be pretty low tech as he goes into the robo. I imagine he might just put down a quick robo bay here, playing this Phoenix into Colossus style. So in we go. Both medevacs will begin to unload. A couple of Widow Mines included with this one. Hit a Revelations, at least those mines are detectable. Of course, we're talking about an armory already in play. Good retarget on that mine. He retargeted the Stalker up top, so it's a much better target than the Zealot that was on top of the mine. Good micro from Clem, just with each and every one of his units. He gets a few probes, he gets a few units, and he's still killing workers as well in the natural, because that's where the Liberator is, dealing a bunch of damage. He's going to pull the Phoenix back across over here. That's going to give Clem more time to reposition with everything else. But overall, I think Clem is really finally starting to take a secure and stable lead in game number 1. We'll Chrono Boost on these probes, continue to bring those through. That Bioforce will come out to the left. This feels like Creator is so far away from tech that really helps him here. Obviously, like the Robo Bay, for example, just now coming online. It's going to be a long time before we have, what, like 2 Colossi up, which is really like a safe, sturdy position. And that's why attacks like this have so much potential here from Clem. The Oracle is going to activate. The Phoenix will begin to lift. And Clem is still missing some upgrades of his own. No combat shields here. Doesn't have the +1 attack upgrade yet. And that does make this defendable for Creator. So Creator pushes back, but we're still equal on workers. And that alone is obviously very good news for a Terran player. And even trying to play into those couple Widow Mines could have been fantastic as well. Fire will fire. A Phoenix gonna get shot down as well. It's gonna be seeing our Cybercore taking some damage from the low ground. But mine is gonna go off. Get a probe. Ooh, hits big. 7 probes on the second volley. Clem was retargeting repeatedly. There was one probe that was split away, and again, just Clem's retargeting, Clem's micro, Clem's multitasking has been just that little bit better so far here today than Creators. So yeah, now we're gonna come and I mean, Clem's just doing a great job. He might run into that stasis ward, might be the one thing that can really stop him in a bad way. Obviously, if he just backs away here, this is fine. Get some more units. Still only that one Colossus. Might be a little bit brazen, right? Trying to fight into the one Colossus. There's still a mine in the main base as well, jeez. I'm just kind of everywhere. He actually kills off the Immortal here this time around. I'm just going to be seeing the Colossus still coming through. Extended Thermal Lance, +1 attack. Still being brought in. Our Phoenix come in. They knock that Widow Mine down. Look at the Widow Mine top. It is spiraling out of the sky. That was just spinning up to the surface of Data Sea, wasn't it? It was, that was being kept busy. And his Phoenix. Want to be a little careful, perhaps, as our Oracle will come forward and maybe drop a cheeky Revelation down to provide some vision on those mines if he knows they are there. But these are the Phoenix obviously out of position and dealing with that, while obviously Clem is setting up on the left side. Hasn't created an attack out of this yet, but these are the opportunities that obviously develop into bigger issues. So, yeah. Phoenix up the right is going to be seeing a probe. Does get grabbed. Order will go down. Bio going to continue to gather. A couple of Widow Mines pulling back. 3 probes going down up to the top. Cannon will get rid of that mine, so mine will fall. I mean, again, the harassment throughout this game from Clem. How many workers do you think went down in total? It's not like a crazy number. I want to say like 23 or so. 32. It was 22 mines, however. I mean, you look at resources lost, and actually Clem has given up a lot of resources this game, but he's mined so much more convincingly that he's actually able to kind of really make up for that. So that's the difference. Usually a Terran player would, you know, be behind on that kind of income. The fact he's ahead means that what he's given up to be ahead has been perfectly okay. Marauders in the setup at the front there, just going to be seeing our charge, our +1 armor. All of that still coming through. A couple of additional Archons being built, and can Clem find a way to attack in aggressively? Remember, this is the patch, so these ghosts, they start with a larger EMP radius, and they do have a, they do not have enhanced shockwaves, so they don't get it even larger than that. And then the super battery is, of course, depowered as well. That might be of note here when that super battery pops when this Nexus finishes. Super battery gets activated now immediately once the Nexus was done. I just don't think it's going to be enough to keep these Colossus alive. Clem clearly knew he had a way in here, and he is going to grab game 1 off of Creator. GG's, Clem 1-0 in our best of 3 here. That is currently between the two top. After this game number 2, on the top right side, our red Protoss player is Creator. Up against the blue Terran in the bottom left. Team Liquid's Clem, up 1. First match, and look at the map for map 2, Tropical Sacrifice. Should be a little comfortable for Creator here. Drone Mimes 5 gifted subs going out 2, by the way. Smokey Pollo, Hikari Warrior 83, Bouncing Cow, so good to meet you, mate, at Home Story. Predator SC2, and Flame Falcons. Thank you so much for the generosity, mate. Appreciate the 5 gifted subs. As we continue on by here today. So, Clem is going to build a CC first over on the 3rd. This is almost ingenious, right? Because the plan is you make this look like a proxy, and you just proxied in the last game, and by the time Creator maybe figures it out, you're already too far away with it for it to matter, right? Yeah, Creator's going to see no gas, so him seeing no gas could also be like a, oh crap, like a Turax proxy. I feel like that's more kind of a guarantee of what he's thinking than like a, you know, than any sort of in-base. You would think, why doesn't he check the in-base? And that's what's so smart about it, I think, because you don't typically go for a gasless kind of in-base, because why would you go gasless in-base? It doesn't make any sense. Creator comes back in the main to check. He's going to see a gas being taken now. Yeah, there is a reason he hasn't checked the side here for quite a long time. He's going to check it now. He's going to see 1, 2, 3 barracks. And by the timing of these, he'll probably also notice, hey, where's the command center then, right? Absolute mind games. And this is too late for Creator to do a whole bunch about whatever he was doing. Look at this. He was building a battery, just had to cancel it. He already built a zealot. He didn't build a nexus. Creator is horribly behind. And it was just a genius mind game from Clem. Like, every part of... And it plays into what happened in Game 1 a little bit as well. Clem showed he was happy to be a bit aggressive. Absolutely masterful mind game from Clem. It just makes, like, so... Like, it makes so much sense, and it had Creator so confused. Right? The only thing Clem has to do now is survive against the initial Stalker's out pressure, which he's basically invited by, obviously, forcing him to make these units early. And then he's pretty much golden. Marines get rid of the first probe. They'll just put damage out on the Stalker. The Zealot takes a while to show up. We do have extra Marines producing as well, so this shouldn't be too long of an issue. This should be something we can deal with. We have that one SCV coming around, chasing that Stalker away. And a few Marines will continue through the Stalker and the Zealot. Still being chased back down that ramp. Away they go. A couple of Marines will look to jump back into our bunker here. I'm just going to be having our Reaper making his way back up to the top right. And into the main base, so just going to check on through. Having a little bit of excitement, Reaper will come by and pick off a probe already. Reaper will get shot down by the couple of Stalkers. Stimpack still coming through, a couple of probes still producing. And it's going to be seeing Creator. We'll have the hallucination starting to move out as well at the moment, so just going for a bit of a move over and down to the bottom left side. And excuse me for just a moment, guys. We're just putting some admin in. Should be the last bit of admin I need to do from here on out. We should be pretty smooth sailing organizationally, which is nice. So coming out of all this, where are we at? Super strong eco for Clem early game. His income's been fantastic. You can see that kicking in now already. 45 probes to 43 SCVs. Usually Protoss would like to be 5-6 workers ahead at least. Clem has his triple barracks upgrades finishing, so he's going to be fully powered up on the Bioforce. Just going to see the couple of Stalkers are going to wander around the left a little. Probably will complete from Creator in the back of this main base. I'm just going to be seeing our Forge coming up here as well. Couple of Stalkers wandering around. Marine out down the south, just going to be seeing this group of Marines, the couple of Marauders, making their way around, just going to drop a third CC. Yeah, I mean, again, Clem's is in a great eco position, isn't he? He doesn't even have to apply any pressure, right? Like, the lead, the opening is just giving them the lead that you usually want to create by, doing kind of early aggressive stuff, and also just not really seeing that here. Fire coming back around, just going to see the hallucination going to come through. And the Stalker's just going to back away as well, so far so good. Everything just kind of staying defensive for Clem. He is going to start pushing. I guess the plan is that he gets joined by these medevacs or so. Those two already coming out, so yeah, here's our first push. One Colossus. Remember, this super battery is not as powerful as it previously was, so this super battery can definitely be broken through, I think. That's what makes this a little bit dangerous. So let's see if Clem can find the dive. The Immortal will have a pretty big role to play here as well, I think. As a few Stogie will take some damage. The Marauders will stim. Just going to be seeing the one force field going down. Just going to block a little bit. Marauder does fall. And in the end, Creator is scary enough to kind of force Clem back. The positioning was decent. Clem can't make anything out of this for the moment. Welcome everyone from InUStream. I know you guys have been watching some of the Group A games on InUStream. We'll be covering those a bit later on. Hence no results in chat, please. But, yeah, welcome. This is Group C, Creator and Clem right now. And after this, we have all of Solar's matchups to cast. We'll be doing that pretty much straight after. It's a little bit of TvP action as force field goes down, a couple more Marines get popped. At this point, right, I mean, what we got going on? A couple Widow Mines come in, and a couple probes. Let's do attack on the Forge, +1 armor. Building up as well, just continue to get that through. The Ghost Academy will build from Clem in the back of the main. I'm just going to be seeing that Bioforce. We'll continue to gather up on the front of this third, so... And this said, Ghost Academy will begin to produce a couple of extra Vikings on the way out. We see Clem going for a similar transition to what he did in the last game as well, so absolutely no surprises there. Just staying pretty honest to what we kind of expect. He's our speedy observer as well. It's so weird, like, you know, it feels like so much changes in this patch, but as so much changes in this patch, it's, yeah, as so much changes in this patch, it's one of those scenarios, right, where it's just like... Yeah. I feel like, so, like, we're like, what, second day of casting, and what, 15, 16 best of 3s deep of casting, it just feels like so much of it's just so natural. Like, they're cool changes, and yet they're not crazy game-changing changes. Like, I feel like they're a good meta-tweak set of changes. I think that's a sign of a good patch, usually. Hallucination comes back through. CC about to finish, +2 attack. An armor coming through, and a few more Vikings just on the way. There's that army of Clem out in the center. Let's see what will be going on as our CC will lift off, pull back over to the left side, get ready for the 4th base. +2 attack is about to finish as our 2-2 upgrades will start on the engineering base. Flagship weapons on the way as well, so again those Vikings improved and upgraded. I wouldn't mind just chilling here. Our Karak is it's gonna be nice. And I wouldn't mind the top will get cleaned out. If you like the changes don't really shift the meta significantly, I think honestly though, I think they do. I think that's the thing. It's just the thing is in StarCraft, the thing is in StarCraft is subtle changes just take a while to take effect. I think if you play on this patch for 3 months, the meta will be completely different to what you see now. And we'll even look back at these games, right, and be like, man, they weren't making the most use of the patch, which of course they're not. They don't have practice on it, right? I think that's always been the case with StarCraft patches. Like, the last patch changed the meta massively and just changed a couple of things. It changed the meta in, you know, multiple matchups too, not just the major PvZ changes, right? Big fight though, Clem. I actually felt like he could continue to fight there. I'm surprised the Vikings didn't continue to get some more shots off on the Colossi. You had 2 of them low. I know one of them hit away into the Prism. Gonna re-engage now. That means at least one Colossus dies. The Prism's too far away. We've got Widow Mines on the back. Gonna try and snipe the Prism or just get units out being flanked. Man, we actually kill every single Colossus, so Creator's gonna lose out big time. This is gonna be our Bioforce continuing around. A couple of Archons gonna get struck. Zealot's in trouble as well. Our Vikings will land too. And this is going to be, as Bioforce continues to stim on in, I mean, there's a super battery to try and save the day for Creator. He has a lot of money to spend, but does he have time to spend it? Prism goes down, so there goes a bunch of the micros. Super battery has bought him a bit of time. He's still floating money, though. This Clem could honestly just do with a few moments just to heal up his bio units. He just sent his Vikings on an adventure, probably to try and hit this mineral line and get rid of probes. He might still need them though, because Colossus production has restarted from Creator, so he is reinvesting into those, which means the Vikings actually do still have a role to play. So yeah, he might regret giving these up if he's not careful. That's exactly what he wanted to do though, show up and kill some probes over here, while keeping his main army on this side. Makes a lot of sense. Vikings are going to be limited in usage until there's more Colossi on the map, which in this case, he did make Colossi again pretty quickly, right? But, yeah, I mean, Clem obviously didn't necessarily know that straight away. A lot of people wouldn't because there's just so many Vikings left over. I think it's a great use of the Vikings. And, of course, even if there are Colossi, there's only going to be 1, 2. You can deal with that without Vikings initially, and obviously then you just build more. So, yeah, hold together. I don't mind it. Now he actually saved a few of these, so you can bring those back to the main force. And Clem continued to control this game number 2 very well so far, looking to go up 2-0 and take a victory here against Creator. Vikings come forward and it's going to be seen that Colossus doesn't have a chance, right? No battery here. Great EMP hit all 3 of the Immortals. Now the Vikings are going to get rid of the Colossi from over the ledge, which is fantastic. He doesn't quite have the damage onto it. The Zealot's actually doing a pretty good job swarming forward. Did we kill the Colossus? Looks like yes, we did. Oh, the Disruptor shot flanking as well, though, Clem. Going to take some damage and is going to be forced to fall back quite significantly towards the end here. I will come back through. A few Stalkers will come pushing around. Just going to blink away a little bit. Army goes back to the upper right side. The Bioforce will continue through. And grab a single Stalker. 3-3 upgrade still coming up. The Ghost coming by. Extra medevacs producing, as we do have our army of Clem. Still hanging around. He's actually dropped down a bit of army supply recently, hasn't he? Last few moments, maybe not so hot. Resources lost even. Yeah, Clem lost a lot all at once. He just got a little bit caught off guard. That disruptor flanking maybe didn't reinforce enough all at once up over here before taking this fight. Then the disruptor flanks as well. It's a real kind of 1-2 whammy. Clem's building Vikings again, which I guess still fine. There's a Colossus on the map, but this might have been a chance for him to maybe even have a look toward Liberators. He's not far from +2 air weapons, which is usually a pretty big deal for Libs, so it would have been nice to maybe start seeing a few of those hitting the map. Remember, again, if we're talking patch information, these disruptor shots are smaller than they are in live, so disruptors are a little bit harder to make work, but they're not exactly crazy. So he's going to get 1-2 medevacs. That's already taken hits. Just going to be seeing the fusion core on the way up, and we do have 2 more Stalkers warping in beneath this prism. The Vikings would love to just get the chance to get rid of the Colossus and then maybe go get the prism as well, right? And EMP's coming in. Remember, EMP's obviously, again, at this point, smaller than what they would usually be, but now you would have had the upgrade, which would have made these EMPs even bigger. So, Clem's working with reduced EMP radius. Creator is working with reduced disruptor radius. That Colossus. Very close to going down. It's going to die now. Gets 1 more shot off. Now the Vikings would love to flank around and find the prism, if I had to make a guess. As Clem splits up to come down 2 different ramps. He's actually just going to make his way through here. The Vikings get rid of an observer, but they are over all of the Stalkers, so they take some heavy hits. Like, Clem's fighting in 2 directions, but it's kind of hard to make that properly work. He has a ton of EMPs left available, but he's honestly already hit a lot of the units and got rid of them. The shields on those. Disruptor shot hits nicely off to the left-hand side. Hits very well, in fact, as the prism gets back to warping in. Another disruptor shot and a bunch of ghosts get annihilated as well. Stalkers pulling back up into the center. A few more Stalkers being warped in here. A couple of them whacked down already. Bioforce continue to commit forward. We got these Zealots being chased and taking a bunch of damage too. And just having now a Liberator from the high ground going to try and help support. Disruptor shot doesn't quite land here, but I think Clem is in a bit too much trouble. Finally the Liberator support, but again, maybe just a little bit too late as Clem trying to fight this in 2 different directions did not work out for him in Creator. Pushing his way back into this game 2, and he's going to give us a game 3 of this series. This was all about Clem on the other side of the map. Creator held on, he bought time, and eventually found himself a good enough fight to then turn it into this. And here we are, tied up. Or at least we will be tied up in a moment. If disruptor shots like that, basically dotting the I's and crossing the T's. If there was any I's and T's in GG, Creator ties it 1-1. 2 years later, be like, wait, did I ever get the smaller carry? Bottom right side, blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It's Clem. Yeah, bad fight. That was serenaded into the distance by an additional disruptor shot on the exit. Really turned things, and so far Clem could have been okay from there, but he did struggle to fight that Protoss army on the low ground, and maybe even... I know you don't want to just let the Protoss push into you, but pushing into it from those two different directions just wasn't going anywhere. I mean, he had the entire army EMP'd, and it felt like he wasn't able to kill anything anyways, right? So, just needed to try and find a bit of a different answer at that point. Maybe even a drop, maybe force Creator to look back home or something for a little while. Could have gone a long way in his favor. Very fun stuff, and as Game 3 then gets underway. Let me see what's going to happen. Let's see our probe having a nibble on an SCV. Just a few moments. Oh my god, they have a new StarCraft jumper. Oh, they have a mini Broodlord. And they have the mini carriers. I'm gonna have to buy them. I have to have the mini Broodlord as well, right? If I'm getting the big Broodlord, I have to have the mini Broodlord. That just makes no sense otherwise. Okay, okay. Yeah. Can't save money for my life. My life depends on it, I don't think. He apologized to my wallet. It's okay. It's a business expense. It's in the background of the stream. Clem's gonna pull out his favorite build. Which is going to be the Hellions with the proxied starport. He absolutely adores this. He does this on any map nowadays, it feels like. To be fair, he is very good at getting a lot of damage done with this. Even if the defense of the Protoss starts off looking very decent, Clem can oftentimes kind of salvage something out of nothing in this scenario a lot. So, excited to see how this goes. As Adept moves down, we'll be joined by Adept 2 in a second. 3 Hellions come forward. The 2 Adepts will get rid of one of them pretty much straight away. 2 Hellions, the Marine continue to chase. And that Adept does just shade back. It's going to go past an SCV. The SCV will get dropped. I'm just going to be seeing this medevac about to finish up. So, Clem only has 3 Hellions. Losing one obviously means he does not keep the potential aggression up for as long as he might like. And as these Hellions are going to get hit hard, he loses another. Not great for Clem, because this is also not a bad server for him. This was his server preference, so this is just disastrous. Obviously, this does not do anywhere near what you want to, and the counterattack of Stalk is already being made. Clem currently has no units back at home, and because, you know, he doesn't need... Well, Creator doesn't need any defense, because obviously Clem's Hellions are being picked off as he goes, so this is looking fantastic here for Creator. Medevac makes its way back. I mean, the Cyclone is a savior here, right? The Cyclone at least should start to stabilize things. Look how annoying Clem is. Even with one Hellion, he's gotten a couple of probes, so he's making something happen at least. Cyclone gets a lock on. Remember, you've got the CC for vision, so you have vision for pretty much the entire time here. And that means he can chase that Stalker very heavily. And he does get it very low. No kill, however. And now Clem building a siege tank. A couple more Marines coming through. The Adept shade to provide high ground vision. Cyclone gets another lock on again. Utilize the CC as vision for a while. Obviously, you want to move down this ramp. You can't just let your CC fall. It would be very, very bad for him if that was the case. This Creator was on the brink of defeat in that game number 2, and now is putting Clem into a very dangerous spot. The Adept has gone down here. The Cyclone will take some hits. We do not have high ground vision. The Stalk is derped forward. Cyclone survives. The positioning from Clem was amazing. It did everything it needed him to. It did everything he needed. It bought him a bunch of time. It got the tank to get a bunch of free shots off. It made Creator's units mess up with their movement. And that makes this a defense when obviously it was very possible not quite going to end up as a defense, right? So, yeah. Some very good move there from Clem. Helping things out big time. Adept, we'll shade out down the bottom right. Probe gets picked off. Marines will load back up as we do have a pylon on the right side. Continuing through, Cyclone comes across, is going to get a lock on. Pylon starts to get chipped on down. Slowly, surely, it will die. Very exciting. Well, last couple of Zealots just taking some map control here. Creator takes third base out onto the map, doesn't feel the need to take one further back. Going to play into charge as well. It's going to be very active on the map with the Dark Shrine too. So DTs to harass. You have Archon Zealot overall as a composition. I feel like that's very enjoyable, right? Here comes a few more units of Creator heading down the bottom right still. A little bit of a journey here. Well, Bob's just sitting overhead and just ready for it. A little bit of a push through. Adept will just see what's going on. Does Creator really have an attack in here? That's good. I don't think he does. I think he'd be great. I mean, this isn't even an army. Mine drop over here, spotted by a probe. Prism sets up the left side as well. Stalkers are in position. They don't have blinks. They can't chase as easily. I'm just going to sit that medevac there and wait. No rush to get the damage dealt. Happy to just have a bit of presence on the map and an opportunity to maybe deal some damage at a later point. Clem knows that this isn't a do-it-all right now scenario. No point forcing it and getting very little done when you could maybe wait and be patient and find so much more further down the line. This TT dodges away. As Clem is moving out. How many scans have we got saved? None. Okay. Might be a GG when he sees his DTs, right? I mean, he's going to start taking mega damage. He's not going to have the scans to defend and attack. Clem's a fighter, so he's not just going to give up that easily, right? But obviously not looking pretty as that Bioforce pushes up over here. He's going to have extremely limited amounts of scans. I don't think he'll be able to stay in this game against these DTs. He actually scans once over here, so he didn't scan on his army, which means his tanks are going down. I mean, honestly, if he had scans or detection in a reliable way, I actually think he could probably win this game. It's just, you're not going to have that reliable detection. Is this where the cheaper Raven comes to save the day or something? I mean, we've got to break into this natural expansion that looks unlikely to happen as well, right? As DTs are still just putting some work in. Again, this DT on this army this entire time is just chipped away at Clem. And Creator is going to come out on the better side of this, all said and done. DT's still getting damaged. Clem starts to go home, but again, home to what? A mineral line that's been ransacked, and yeah, just nothing good going on for him over here at all, so really not looking ideal. Zealots continue to put some damage in. SCVs are dropping. The Cyclone's locking on. 11 workers already down. Yeah, a little bit more kills. Clem's on 54 supply to the 99. You've still got DTs everywhere. You might have a scan or two saved up at this point, but yeah, what about the DTs after that again, as the Cyclone will at least get the Prism. So a win for Clem here. Gets rid of the Prism. Just in case he did enough across the map, you've got to play for every little thing you can get, right? But yeah, we can see, obviously, he didn't do enough across the map to bring this game into a realistically playable situation. He'll try and Doom Drop. Again, probably makes sense. Probably one of the better ways you can go about this and get something done. But at the end of the day, this is a DTs that are still harassing, and an army that is just, in theory, should never really do enough anyways as well, right? So, and Creator's already in the main base waiting. So Clem gets turned around, and his answer to that is to GG. There it is. Creator 2-1 over Clem. Big win for him at